I'm going to be ranking the 9 different types of dates that I do, ranking them from best to worst, and telling you what is good and what is bad about them. Starting with one of my go-tos, which is a walk in the city. It can also be a walk in nature, a walk in a park, whatever it is, but just a walk. Going for a walk is very low resistance and safe. Most girls will agree to this. So if you're just getting to know someone, if you've never met them before, if they're from Tinder or something like that, dating apps, a walk is a great first date. And it allows you to get to see if the girl actually likes you for you. It's a free date, so if she's coming, she actually wants to see if she likes you as a person. She probably finds you attractive enough to go on this date with you. And now it gives you also an opportunity to qualify her without having to spend any money or make any serious commitments. So for that reason, I think it's A tier. It's a really fun thing to do. I love going for walks with girls. I do it all the time. And it's a great opportunity for you to have great conversations as well. You're walking, the only thing to do is really talk. It's all right for there to be moments of silence. And that's why, boys, I built you a conversation mastery guide so you can start and have great conversations when you go on these dates. This is going to give you all my knowledge over the last 3 years, having talked to thousands of girls, having tons of rejections and successes. So it's everything that I know about succeeding with having a great conversation. You can pick that up for free. It's the first link in the description below. And now this next one is one of my favorites, and that is going for coffee. So I was recently just in Norway, and before I left, I went on a coffee date, and this was one of my favorite dates that I've ever been on. It was just amazing. We sat down, we had coffee, and we were there for 2 hours just getting to know each other, talking the entire time, laughing, having such a great time. And one of the reasons I really like coffee is because you get to sit across from the person. The way that I'm speaking to the camera right now, you would be sitting across from the girl. You can really read into her micro expressions, her face. You can see her nonverbal communication in a way that you wouldn't be able to when you're walking side by side with someone for a walk. So for that reason, it is S tier. I'm a huge fan of looking into people's nonverbal communication, and it allows me to adjust my communicative style to how they're feeling and their moods and the little micro expressions that I see. So this allows me to be even more charming, even more charismatic when I can actually pick up on those facial expressions. So I love sitting across from a girl, having coffee. The coffee puts you into a good mood. You get a little bit more energy. Everything about it is great. So for that reason, it's S tier. It's one of my favorite dates to go on. And this next date is taking a girl to dinner. See, for a first date, I'm not a big fan of this at all. For a second or third date, I think it is good. And about 2 years ago, on a second date, it was the second official date, the third time that we saw each other, I took a girl to dinner. We already knew we liked each other, so the conversation was great. We had a couple of drinks and went back to her place, and this was an amazing, amazing date. But I already knew that I liked this girl. We'd already been getting along. We'd already been sleeping with each other. So to spend some money on her was cool. But to spend money on a girl who you don't know, and sometimes dinner can be expensive, I think it's a waste. If you don't know that you like this girl, I wouldn't be doing something so formal, so serious. Eating can be a little bit, awkward if you're just getting to know someone at times. So I wouldn't recommend dinner for a first date. It's personally not something that I really ever do, is go for dinner on a first date. That's more of a second or third date type of thing. So for that reason, it is C tier as a first date. Here is another one of my favorites, and that is going for drinks. This is one of my favorites because drinking puts you in a good mood. It gets the vibe going, and it's a very low resistance thing to do once again. So if a girl doesn't trust you too much, meeting in a very public place like the bar is a safe spot to go to. It's not too expensive to buy a girl a couple drinks, and you just get to sit down, chat a little bit, be in a fun environment, and you can take her home after too. So that's a really good benefit as well, is it sets you up for success, that if this goes really well, it gives you the opportunity to sleep with her on the first date if everything is going according to plans. So for that reason, it is S tier. I love going out for drinks with a girl. It's one of my favorite dates to go on. Now, this next one I thought was gonna be a killer first date, but it actually turned out to be not the best, and it wasn't the easiest to get girls to agree to. And this was a jet ski date. So it's kind of just something adventurous, right? Doing something kind of crazy, something cool. And I'd gotten a jet ski about 2 years ago, and I thought that every single girl was going to be lining up to come on the jet ski with me. But it actually took a little bit to get going, and it wasn't the easiest date to get girls to agree to, because they most likely have to come to your house, things like that, and there's that level of trust that is required for them to first come to your house. So I eventually did actually have quite a few jet ski dates, and they were a lot of fun, and they were really easy to close on once the girl was at your place. So it gives you a high success rate for that, and it's kind of something fun and adventurous. But it's not as easy to get the girls to come to your house to then go on the jet ski. There's that level of trust that's required. And it also comes across as kind of like flexing a little bit, where you're trying to do something to prove yourself, and that can kind of go against you a little bit, where if you're just asking a girl to go for a walk or coffee, I feel like it actually makes you a little bit more confident in that you don't need something external to attract her besides your own personal self. Like, you are more than enough to entertain this girl. You don't need to take her on a jet ski. So I think this is actually better as a second or third date. First, seeing if the girl likes you for a walk, coffee, drinks is a really good first date to go on, whereas the jet ski would be a better second or third date, or something just adventurous as a whole. It doesn't have to be jet ski specifically, but that's just my unique story. So for that reason, I would rate this as C tier. I think it would be an A or even an S tier if it was a second or third date. But for the first date, I would recommend sticking to the other ones. And this next one's a little bit of a cheat code. So it's not an official date, but it is meeting a girl at the club. So I use this all the time with online dating, where not every girl is going to agree to go on a date with you. And that's all right. If there's a lot of resistance, if there's no trust built, and you just want to meet a girl out, if you're in a smaller or medium-sized city where people are going out in the same places, or it's just like a general strip where everyone goes, or there's just like 2 or 3 clubs that are mainly for that city, you can ask the girl if she's going out on the weekend, and then you can say, okay, well, I'll maybe see you out this weekend. And if you do see her out, this gives you the opportunity to meet her in a very low resistance way. So instead of trying to get her to agree to a date and something official, you can meet her at a place where she is already going. And I know this technically isn't a date, but it's a really great way to make a great first impression and actually, charm her up, be charismatic. If you are that guy and you're good with communication and you couldn't get the date because there was a lack of trust or whatever the issue was, meeting a girl out and then building that trust can set you up for a future successful date or just sleeping with her. I've used this in both situations where, I didn't go for the date. I just was like, oh, well, she was going out tonight. I'll meet you out at the club. And then I talked to her there and I brought her home to my place or my hotel. And in other situations where I've been talking to girls on Tinder, but they wouldn't agree to a date, once I met them out, we were at the same place and we got to talking, then after that I was able to take them on a date. So one thing you gotta understand with these is that trust is a huge factor in going on dates with girls. They like to trust the person that they're meeting. Girls are scared of guys. You need to understand this. So this is an opportunity for a really low resistance meeting where you just kind of show face, you can make your first impression, you can start talking to her, and then now it will really show you whether this escalates or it doesn't. So if you meet her and things aren't improving, then I would say it's a waste. But if you meet her, and obviously if you sleep with her, things go well. But if you meet her and then things start to improve, the communication gets a lot better, now you can actually be in a position to set up an actual date. So for that reason, it is B tier. I almost forgot to put that in. Now my take on this next one might surprise you, and that is gym dates. I'm not the biggest fan of going for a gym date with a girl on a first date because it makes it difficult to have conversations. So there was a girl who I went on a first date with, and we had a great first date, and we went to the gym for a second date. But even then, she wanted to warm up and do some cardio. So we were doing cardio together, and it was very hard to have that conversation. So we just got there, and we were barely able to even start talking. And then when you're doing the exercises as well, it kind of just becomes more of a hangout instead of a workout, and it really kind of makes it difficult, and the conversation has big pauses when you do your sets or whatever. So I'm not the biggest fan of it if you're just meeting someone for the first time. If it was like a third or fourth date and you're already comfortable with this person, you can leave plenty long periods of silence and it's completely fine, then yeah, gym dates are cool. But I'm not the biggest fan of it otherwise, so this was gonna be C tier for me. Now this next one's a pretty solid first date, and that is mini golf. I'm a huge fan of mini golf. It's a fun thing to do. You can compete with the girl. You can have some banterish jokes. You can tease each other when, one of you is winning, the other one isn't. It's just a good opportunity to talk throughout the entire time. There's nothing really stopping you from having a pretty continuous flowing conversation. Like at the gym, there's always like those gaps. So unless you're really far away, then maybe the conversation stops for a second. But besides that, it's a really fun first date. It's cheap. It's about like 30, 45 minutes, maybe longer if it's like a serious course. But it's a fun opportunity just to get to talk to someone, do an activity, especially if you're a little bit nervous and you're struggling to like sit down and hold such great conversation. This is probably better for you. So for that reason, it's A tier. I have nothing bad to say about mini golf. It's a pretty fun thing to do overall, and most girls will agree to it. It's low resistance. So yeah, take some girls out to mini golf. And this last one is hit or miss, the one that you have been waiting for, taking a girl to your place. Now this one kind of guarantees that you're gonna sleep with the girl. If she agrees to come to your place, she knows what's gonna go down. So I was in Norway recently, and I told this girl to come over, and she was like, "What are we gonna do?" And I was like, "Watch a movie and talk." And then we joked about it later after I slept with her, and she was like, "Yeah, I knew we weren't gonna watch a movie and talk. I knew that was some bullshit." So it like every girl knows that like you're gonna sleep with them if they come over. It's kind of just guaranteed, unless you're just like a dumbass and you don't know how to have any charm or charisma. Maybe they don't want to sleep with you. But for the most part, if you get a girl to come to your place, it's gonna lead to sex. And the only issue here is that it drives that like very short-term mindset. So if you're trying to do something long-term, inviting a girl to your place is gonna maybe ruin some of that potential. And also, if you're trying to lead with this as well, you can lose some girls who would have otherwise been fun girls who would have hung out with you if they're just like, oh, he just wants to bring me to his place to sleep with me, and like it's kind of a known. Like I kind of gave that example where it's just like when she agreed, she knew what was going to go down that night. And if you're sending out those vibes, it can sometimes be a detriment. If you even want something just like a shorter term relationship, you might have ruined that opportunity. Where if you could have just went for something like a walk or coffee, you would have built that trust and then had it, she might just disqualify you and think, oh, he's just trying to sleep with me and then he'll never talk to me again. So for that reason, since it has that risk factor in there, where it's either like hit or miss, you're either going to sleep with a girl or you lose her and she kind of views you in a negative light now, it's going to be B tier. So you got to be careful with it. You got to use it with caution. If the girl is vibing with you and you just want to have some quick sex, then yeah, it's great. If not, then I would err on the side of some of the S or A tier dates because they're going to do you much better. So once again, boys, in all of these situations, you need to be able to have great conversations. You need to be able to flow with ease. This is what's going to really build that attraction. So go ahead and pick up that free conversation mastery guide where I teach you everything I know about how to start and have great conversations. After all the years of cold approaching, having successes, failures, this is all my life's knowledge on conversations in this guide.